G'day guys, Joel mate Big J here. Welcome to another edition of Aussie Boxing Talk. And a very interesting week of Australian boxing we have the IBF world title, middleweight world title fight between Janibek, Amli Makananali, I hope I pronounced that correctly, versus Andrei IBF, right? This Friday at the Star Casino in Sydney. So it's only a 2-fight card. This is very, very interesting, and I think that No Limit are doing a tremendous job in doing everything they can, giving their fighter, Andrei IBF, who is a Russian-born New Zealand fighter, who now I'm pretty sure has based himself in Australia, right, every opportunity to get this title, because this fight was supposed to happen a few months ago. Janibek did not make the weight due to medical conditions. He couldn't get on the scales because he was so drained he couldn't get on the scales. He was not stripped. He currently holds both the IBO and the IBF and the WBO middleweight titles. He's obviously the number one fighter in the division, even though the middleweight division is fucking shit at the moment. I know everything ebbs and flows, and the middleweight division has always been considered one of probably the best divisions in boxing, right? But at the moment, it's just absolute fucking shambles. So, ever since Triple G retired, it's been up to shit creek. So, now, according to Ben Damon's tweet, which happened about 4 hours ago, shout out to Ben Damon, I love your work, mate. Right, Janibek will get into the country 6 a.m. tomorrow, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and then he's got the presser in Sydney at 5 p.m. So that's 11 hours. So he gets in, all right, the flight touches down around 6. Then he's got a piss fart around at the airport for a couple of hours. Anyone who's done international travel, you know that you're not walking out the door at 6 o'clock. It might be 8, maybe even 9 by the time they do everything. That's if the flight's not delayed, there's not a problem at customs or whatever, right? So, and coming off the plane, he won't have a chance to eat or anything, or maybe, he hasn't eaten the entire flight, right? Then he's got a presser at 5 p.m., so I don't know whether he's going to have time to eat or sleep or do whatever, right? And straight after the presser, he's got a weigh-in at 160 pounds at 12 a.m. on Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So 12 p.m. on Thursday. So he gets into the country at 6 a.m., and then he only has 30 hours. So 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. the next day is only 30 hours in which to make the 160-pound limit, middleweight limit. All right? Then, with accordance to the IBF rules, when they have a title fight, you're only allowed to rehydrate 10 pounds. So there is a day of fight weigh-in at 10 a.m. where both fighters are required to weigh under 170-pound limit, right? So the fight is expected to be at 8:30 at night. I don't know how they're going to do that, considering there's only one fight on the undercard, and we'll get to that in a second. So they're looking at a 8:30 main event between the two fighters, in which Janibek has got a weigh-in at 10 in the morning at 170 pounds, and then he's free to do what he wants until fight night. Now, obviously, he's not going to be putting on too much weight, because if you put on 10, 15 pounds in a day, you're going to be as bloated as buggery, and you won't be in any condition to fight. So I don't think he's going to be going into the ring any more than, say, 175 pound. I think he's going to put on much more, right? Maybe 5, 10 pound at the most by the time that he actually gets into the ring. Mikhailovich, yep, he should be fine because he's had this prep time. This fight has been, because No Limit won the purse bid for this fight, $351,000. Pipping top rank at the post, right? And I think that's the equivalent of, just let me see this here. Let me just Google this here so I actually get my facts right. Just to see what 351,000 American dollars is in Australian. So 351, look out, sorry. 351, all right, UDI. So 500, so they paid over $500,000, because 351 US dollars into Australian is $506.70. So that's $506,000 Australian that they paid for this fight. I believe Janibek's going to get 70% of that, and Mikhailovich is going to get only 30% of that. So 70%, he's getting at least $300,000. Or Janibek's getting 130 if he's lucky. All right, so it's quite a big purse bid, right? But as I said, main event's getting him every advantage. He's not getting here until 6 in the morning tomorrow. Then he's got to go to a presser at 5 o'clock that day, and that's pretty late for a presser. Normally they happen at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I know I've been to No Limit pressers. Normally they happen, in the morning or at midday. I mean, I do remember the Parker Oplu one was later in the afternoon. Then he's got to do another weigh-in at Thursday at 12 o'clock and then another weigh-in at 10 o'clock the following morning on day of fight. So No Limit is trying to do everything they can to ensure that their man, Andrei Mikhailovich, wins this title. Right? And I think that Janibek just might go, yep, bugger it. I'm not going to weigh in. I'll just drop the belt, take my paycheck, and I've still got the WBO belt. So I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, I don't see Andrei being able to get over Janibek. Janibek is an absolute beast. And if he makes weight and everything's okay, it's going to be bad for Mikhailovich. Because his resume, he's only fought domestic level fighters. He hasn't got anyone really solid on his resume. I don't even know how he warranted a title shot in the first place. But Janibek is an absolute beast. So I think it's going to be an early night for Janibek and a bad night for Mikhailovich. I could be wrong. And what does he do next now? There's, of course, Mick Zarafa I spoke to at the Will Tomlinson show, the Wildfighter card, about 2 weeks ago. Or was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? He said that he wanted to fight Mikhailovich if he wins. I don't see how Mick warrants that, considering that he got absolutely sparked out, terribly by Ines Lara in his fight in late March. And I don't see how he warrants another title shot. Mick has never won a world title. He's only ever competed for one. That was his one and only shot at a world title. He has fought former champions, but he's never... His biggest win on his resume is the Jeff Horn #1 fight. And to be honest, he hasn't been the same since Jeff Horn #2. Neither of them have been the same. So I really don't think how he gets that title shot, but being a No Limit fighter, there's been suggestions, and I've heard things that maybe they're doing this, getting Mikhailovich the belt so he could fight Tim Tszyu in the future, but Tim's fighting Bakram Murtazaliev in 2 weeks' time, in October 20, in Florida. So maybe if Tim doesn't win that, it's a backup plan. That a lot of things have to really fall into line for this to happen for No Limit, for them to get the belt off Janibek, which I don't believe they're going to do. Then if Tim doesn't win against Bakram, which I think he will, I think Tim will be looking to make a statement in his fight to ensure that he does take care of Bakram and make a very brutal statement. And then, of course, you've got... I don't think that's going to happen. And now, onto the undercard. Now, the only card on the undercard at the moment is Miyamoto, who is the current IBO Super Bantamweight champion, who was scheduled to fight Ali Scotney for her two belts, the IBF and the WBO, but she's been injured. So she is now fighting Shannon O'Connell, who's a No Limit fighter, one of Glenn Jennings' fighters. All right, so Shannon O'Connell was due to fight a girl in Germany for a couple of low-level titles, let's say. I think it was the WBF Super Bantamweight, which I'm pretty sure she won, or she might have been the WBF Featherweight. Actually, I'll just bring it up here. So Miyamoto was scheduled to fight Ali Scotney on the 26th of this month, because it's now October. Shannon O'Connell was scheduled to fight a girl by the name of Parati Netisiri, I think. Pretty sure that's a Thai fighter. No, she's German, but of course she was a Thai fighter, but she lives in Germany for the WIBF Super Bantamweight title. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't think that's the actual IBF. That is the World International Boxing. That can't be right. She's not the Super Bantamweight champion. Ellie Scottney is. That makes no sense. I've not heard of that title. It's not the IBF. Because Ellie Scottney's the Super Bantamweight champion with that belt. So that makes zero. It must be a different belt. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Shannon was supposed to fight her, but it's not happening. She was actually supposed to fight her, I think, the day before actually the day before in Germany, but that's not happening. So it's going to be a catch weight from 125 from what I've heard. It's going to be a tough fight for Shannon. I mean, Mio is, even though her record's not that great, she is a lot younger, right, and being more active. I mean, Mio, I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking at it now, her last fight was in April of this year, and she had a fight in December. So over the last 18 months, she's had, this will be her 5th fight. Where Shannon, right, over the last 18 months, she got absolutely pulverised by Ebony Bridges. Yeah, she only had one fight since that pulverisation she got off Ebony Bridges. And she's 41 years old and she's got a bad shoulder. So she's 41, 42. No, 41. So she'll be 42 next in January. So I don't see this going well for Shannon. I say that with no justice. I say that with no cheer, no joy. There's no joy for that. I actually want to see Shannon win this. But considering she's going up a younger, stronger, bigger, more active opponent, even though Miyamoto's record is not that flash, I don't see Shannon getting over her. I think that Shannon is probably, well, she's been looking down the barrel of retirement for the last probably 3 or 4 years, and certainly since the Ebony fight, everyone just went, Ebony was really her last ditch effort at getting a world title. I mean, she's had 4 cracks at it and she's lost a lot. So it's very disappointing for Shannon, that considering the fact that she would probably go down as the best female fighter in Australian boxing history to never win a world title. And that's a real shame, considering that the people that she's fought, the world titles that she's fought for, she's never actually got the job done. And it's just sad. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I feel sorry for her. If anyone deserves a world title, it is Shannon O'Connell. I mean, she has won the WBF featherweight and the WIBA super bantamweight, I believe. But those are minor titles. So, I mean, it's a catchweight fight. It's really just a stay busy fight. Whoever loses, well, if Shannon loses, it'll be like, well, what are you going to do? It's like, it's not going to affect ratings and all that because it's a catchweight fight. But, if she gets knocked out badly, it's like, well, what do you do now? You should really call it a day. But I find it interesting that No Limit, this is very, very tactical and very smart from No Limit. They've done everything they can. They got the fight. The purse bid was only won 4 weeks ago. They're allowed to have a fight within 4 weeks. This is the minimum amount of time. They've flown Janibek in at the last second to give him literally no time to prepare for this fight. And the strangest thing about this is they're giving it away for free. It's on KO and Fox Sports. You can go to the pub and watch it for free. Well, you can go to the pub and watch pay-per-views for free anyway. But they're giving it away for free. I think they should have waited a month, pushed the Nikita Tszyu fight back, and put that on the card. That would have been worth $70. Absolutely. Excuse me. That would have been worth $70. Absolutely. So they're giving away this is the most significant fight that's ever been on Foxtel, KO Sports, as part of their subscription. It's not free. People say it's free. It's not free. You've got to pay for the subscription to KO Sports to get it. And I think I think they're blowing a major pay-per-view here. I mean, it's on ESPN and there's other broadcasters involved. And I think No Limit are gambling. I think they're going to lose about $200,000 on this deal, praying that Makalovich gets the job done and gets the title. which unfortunately I don't see it happening. If Janibek makes weight and does everything right and gets, I think he's going to smack out Mikhailovic inside of 3 rounds. And that'll it. He'll fade off into obscurity. Because let me tell you this, not one person from No Limit has ever won a world title fight. All right, now Tim Tszyu, yeah, he got given his belt. He never beat Charlo for it, right? And he defended it against Brian Mendoza, right? Okay. But no limit challenger, right, that's ever, because Tim Tszyu's going to challenge for a fight, going to challenge for a belt, right? So no challenger from No Limit has ever won a world title fight. They've all lost. Shannon got beat up by Ebony. What was that light heavyweight bloke's name? David something. Okay, David Light lost his fight. You could say that Tim Tszyu lost against Fendora. He was challenging for that belt. He was a champion, right? Tim lost that fight. Oh, God, what's his name? What's the young Queensland kid? The super featherweight bloke. Liam Wilson. Liam Wilson has had 2 goes at it and lost both. So No Limit has never actually had a fighter to win a world title off a champion. Tim was given his belt because Charlo flat out ducked him, which we all know that, but Tim will most likely be the first person to win a belt off a champion from No Limit, because I don't see Mikhailovic doing it. But hopefully it's not the case, and I'll just double check. Well, I've got a couple of minutes left here because I don't want to rave on too much, because you'll get bored and say, oh, fuck off, this is boring. Right? And you've got every right to. I mean, videos go far too fucking long sometimes. They really do. Hang on a second. Just check to see there's nothing else on that card. Two fights, just crazy. Absolutely crazy that they're doing 2 fights. Fucking hell, let me just have a look here. Yep, there's still only 2 fights on that, 2 fights right there, on that card. That's it, 2 fights. So hopefully No Limit can pull it off. I don't see if they can, and as I watched Leonard Hoskin, the great man, a boxing deep dive, shout out to him, say last night, if Mikhailovic can't win tomorrow, he'll never beat him. And he's absolutely right, because he can't. If you can't beat a man that's rocked up last minute, had no time to prep, no time to acclimatise to the country, barely any time to get into a sauna and get down to weight, or getting off a plane because you swell once you get off a plane, got to weigh in again on fight day, a late presser. Yeah, I mean, all the cards are in Mikhailovic's favour. If he can't get this done, then, you know, what can he do? But anyway, enjoy the fights, guys. Joel, mate, Big J. Hopefully I'll get another video out with T Street before the fight. I'm planning to get that done tonight with him, so we can get another video done. Tackle the bull, wrestle croc, harden the fuck up. Have yourself a great day.